Alright, my friends, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I want to talk about the upcoming Xbox games versus the upcoming PlayStation 5 games. So if you guys like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, I know I haven't been doing a whole lot of console content lately, and when you get caught on a tangent, you get caught on a tangent and you start doing things and you just don't have enough time to do everything. But this is important to me. It is important. Consoles are still very important to me, very relevant. I just got done playing Suicide Squad on the Xbox Series X, and now that I'm actually playing it on the PC as of yesterday, it's incredible. It's incredible to see how wonderful that game actually was on the Xbox Series X, and then comparing that to what the experience is on the PC. It definitely holds up, and it definitely is still relevant here in like today in 2024. This is going to be an exciting year for console gamers. On the Xbox side, they showed off four of their main games that are coming out. Plus, we're still going to be getting that Visions of Mana over on the Xbox. That there looks very interesting to me. I'm actually playing a game called Grand Blue Fantasy Link Relink right now, and the visual style looks pretty comparable to that. And Grand Blue looks incredible, so I'm like, yeah, that's pretty nice. Grand Blue is available on the PlayStation, but it is sadly not available on the Xbox, so that kind of sucks because I like this game and I think it would do pretty well on the Xbox platform. But today we're talking about the Xbox games that have been shown versus the PlayStation games that have been shown. And I gotta tell you, my friends, having both consoles is like living in the never dry period, which is pretty awesome. You can root for both teams and you can enjoy the games that come to each console. Now, with PlayStation Show, we're going to start a little bit with the PlayStation Show because they showed a total of like 15 or 16 games or something like that. Some of them very, very, very notable. Some of them not too much. But then Xbox, they showed pretty much their first party stuff that they're going to be coming out this year. Indiana Jones, we're going to get some Avowed, some Hellblade 2. Those are the three, that people are like really talking about. And I do think that those three games are very, very good for the Xbox ecosystem. Like we've been waiting for them. It's good to know more about them. So it is so it's pretty interesting to see that, PlayStation, they came out with another show, and they didn't really show any first party stuff. A lot of it's going to be third party games or second party partnership type games. You do have like Helldivers 2, but let's face it, man, everybody was going hard against Starfield, and I mean, if you really look at it, like Hellblade looks pretty comparable visual wise to what Starfield does. So it'll be interesting to see the people capping for Hellblade for Helldivers 2. That's gonna be quite interesting to see how they say that game looks incredible, but then they still try to bash Starfield. This is going to be interesting. So, all right, my friends. If we look at the Xbox side, we've got Hellblade 2 that's coming out here in May. So that one there is probably like the first real in-house developed by Xbox Unreal Engine 5 title. And I got to tell you, man, it looks incredible. The way that game looks is absolutely stunning. I cannot wait to play that. They said it's going to be a shorter game like the first one, so that should be like one sitting. You should be able to get through that. I'm going to set aside the time at launch when that comes out. I'm just going to play through it from start to finish like I did with the first game. That was incredible. Got through that in about 6 hours. For me, the first game didn't really have a whole lot of replayability just because of the way it starts off, and it takes so long for it to even start getting into any real action that, you know, most people like. Replaying through that again is pretty hard. As long as you were finding the runes and everything, like there's really no reason to backtrack. You could pretty much beat that game and get all 45 of those runes in like one sitting. It wasn't too bad. But once you get toward the end of that game, my gosh, there are some cool ideas and some cool features in that game that really make it shine and really make it a memorable experience for anybody who's went out of their way to complete the first game. So I'm looking forward to the second game. I want to play that. I want to continue Saga's or Senua's journey into whatever's going on there. That was pretty interesting, pretty intriguing. I like how they made it. I love how they brought, you know, like schizophrenia and stuff like that to the mainstream and kind of give you an idea of what that's like to be in somebody's head that has, you know, those psychological issues. It is pretty freaking cool. Played through that with headphones, man. It was good. It was interesting. The way they work with that sound is pretty intense. Pretty intense. So that was pretty cool. As for the PlayStation side, we saw, you know, Stellar Blade will be coming out in April 26th. You'll be able to get your hands on Stellar Blade. Now, I would say something about Helldivers 2. That's coming out here in just a few days. You'll be able to jump into that game. I don't think that's anything that I'm interested in picking up. I don't really see any use for it. I don't go out of my way to play a whole lot of multiplayer games. Every once in a while I do, but they're just not my main thing, so I don't really go out of my way to play them. So talking about, you know, Helldivers 2 is kind of pointless. But then you got, I mean, we do got Foam Stars that's coming out here in a couple more days as well. I am excited about that. I want to play some of that with the kids here on the 6th or whatever when it comes out. That does look interesting. It looks kind of cool. I'm not going to sit here and try to say it doesn't look cool, because for a casual experience that you can play with your friends or your family or your young ones or your children, that is actually a pretty cool game. I know that the I know that the kids are, you know, kind of a little bit excited about it. We at least want to check it out and see how that game's going to go. But for Stellar Blade being like the first I don't know, man. A lot of people were like, when we first saw it, it was like, ooh, this looks kind of cool. But then they started showing more of the game. It's turning out to be one of those, like, the more they show this game, the less hyped about it I get, and the more concerned about it that I start to be like, ooh, boy. And don't get me wrong, like, I am a little bit concerned about Hellblade 2 as well, you know. I was expecting like a longer journey, and we waited 7 years for this game, and it's coming out, and it's going to be a short one. So it is fine. Like, me personally, I accept that, because I'm like, yeah, this is cool. They are lowering the price to $49.99 on that. But Stellar Blade, man, like, the more they show this game, the more it just makes me look like, oh my gosh, dude, like, I don't know about this, man. Like, I think that the hype levels are going to be way more than what the game deserves, and I think it's gonna get crapped on, man. Like, I can feel it coming. I can feel it being like another Forspoken pretty soon, man. Like, I can just see it. I can just see it now. I can hear the Dreamcast guys in my head. This game sucks. I can see it now. I can see the stupid little thumbnails and IGN's bashing it, and I can see it. Like, I can see it coming from a mile away. I mean, I hope it's good. I hope it works out. I really hate to see any developer put their heart and soul into a game just for the YouTube algorithm to hate it, and for gamers to pretty much disown it. That really sucks, man. That really affects game development for more than just the teams that make that game, because once they make something and it fails, that makes everybody else kind of clench their pearls and pull back and not really go out of their way to create anything new or exciting. And it did. It sucked to see that happen to Forspoken, because Forspoken was awesome, man. It might not have had the best story or the best writing, but gosh dang, man, that game was fun. I've played so much of it that I don't get it, man, guys. It's video games. Please remember that. Next up, when it comes to Xbox, we got Avowed and we got Indiana Jones. Avowed coming out later this year. A lot of people saying, "Oh, it doesn't look good." From the pedigree from the studios that are building these games, the games like Obsidian, they've done a good job in the past. I mean, they put Grounded out recently. That game was freaking awesome. I have faith in Avowed. I mean, it's part of the Pillars of Eternity series, and like, I don't know, there's something about the way this game looks that intrigues me, especially with the environments. The environments look incredible. The combat, obviously being first person, with melee and range combat, stuff like that. Like, I've been playing a lot more first person shooters, and I've gotten used to how they feel and how they function and stuff. So I mean, that's not a big deal to me. But the overall world exploration and stuff and the writing, it does seem like it's going to be a very good game. I'm very much excited for Avowed. It's probably one of the ones from the Xbox show that I'm like the most hyped and excited about. Like, I like the way that game looks. I don't quite know exactly why it's something that I'm just like, yeah, man, I want to play that. But it is something that I'm actually fairly hyped for. I'm definitely looking forward to more information for it. I'm definitely excited about getting a release date here in the fall. I'm excited for Avowed, and I don't understand exactly why, but I am. Like, I'm looking at that game and I'm like, this looks cool, man. This looks like something that I might actually be into longer than 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard these days to find games that are just like, boom, in your face and keep your attention. I mean, I seriously wish that I had the drive like my wife does to play that Disney's Dreamlight game. My gosh, man, she's almost to 4 complete days in that game, and I'm like, gosh dang, man, not even $70 AAA bangers can do that for for a lot of people these days. So I'm hoping that Avowed can be that game for me. I'm hoping that I've been on this hunt, man, to finding that perfect game that I can just sink my time into and just be like, yeah, this is freaking awesome. I just want to keep playing it. Hopefully, Avowed can scratch some of that itch. I'm really looking forward to it, and I absolutely want to play it. So next, let's go back over to the PlayStation side. Let's talk about Rise of Ronin. I hear a lot of people out there saying that this game looks like a PS3 game. Clearly, they weren't alive when PlayStation 3 was was the main system. Because if that looks like a PlayStation 3 game, I want a PlayStation 3 that would give me those visuals. Rise of the Ronin looks incredible. It will have, for the first time ever, a freaking difficulty select. So you can play this game without getting punished repeatedly. Thank you, Team Ninja, for doing that. I love the freaking Souls games. I do love playing them, but gosh dang, man, sometimes I just want some Souls combat and some Souls exploration that isn't so damn punishing. I love those games. I love the design of them. I love how they work, but gosh dang, man, sometimes I just can't devote the time needed to getting good. I sometimes I just can't, and it frustrates me. It frustrates me that, like, dang, I want to see this game. I want to see this. Well, good thing those games usually don't have that great of a story, so it's like, okay, you're not really rushing for that. You're rushing for the combat and stuff. And if they would have had like really high quality stories and stuff, maybe then it would be something that I would slog through and get good. But sometimes I can't keep my focus on just that gameplay alone, and it's not, and it sucks because when I get stuck on something, like the ape in freaking Sekiro, man, I got stuck on him, but I had drive to like, push through that. I had that drive. But lately, playing these gosh dang Souls games, because there's just been so many coming out one after another, that I'm starting to get to a point where I'm just like, no, man, I'm good. Like, I'm over this. I can't. I can't seem to just sit and do this because it requires so much of my focus and attention to do that, that it does get a little bit frustrating. But gosh dang, man, Rise of the Ronin. This game here kind of reminds me of a little bit of Ghost of Tsushima. I loved Ghost of Tsushima. That game was absolutely incredible. Rise of the Ronin kind of gives me that, but with a more realistic look to it, and I like that. And I'm hoping that that Sucker Punch, when Ghost of Tsushima 2 comes out, I'm hoping that they can, bring more of a realistic look. Well, I don't know, man. That visual style kind of works for that. I don't, you know what I mean? Like Rise of the Ronin for me looks incredible. I cannot wait to play this game later in March. I mean, next month I'll be playing Rise of the Ronin. I really wish this game was coming to PC though, day one, because I would really like to max that game out and really see what it can do on the PC. But yes, having a difficulty mode is going to be awesome. I'm going to buy that game day one. I'll play it on the PS5. I will end up buying that again, possibly on the PC as well when that comes out. But that's going to be awesome. We need to back up just a little bit because we have February, which is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth month. Oh my gosh, my friends. That game is that. Yeah, dude, I can't, words can't even express how hyped I am for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I know I don't talk about the games that I'm hyped about a lot. Because I don't want to create some sort of, sorry about my light, my friends. I don't want to create some sort of, I don't like creating like this undue hype, because if a game comes out and I'm like really hyping it and it just kind of doesn't do good, then I look dumb for hyping this thing up and all of that stuff. So I try not to overhype a lot of stuff on the channel. I just like to, get into it, play it, and then give you my thoughts when it's actually in my hands. When I first start playing it, after I beat it, when I'm playing through the game and stuff, I like to do that better than sitting here and like overhyping things. But I think it's pretty safe to say that you can go ahead and be very hyped for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It does suck. It does suck that it's not coming to Xbox. I get that, man. I really do think Square needs to reevaluate their what they're doing with their games, because a game like that on every platform, something that they know is going to sell to multiple people, there's no reason on earth to lock that to the PlayStation platform. And I think that kind of stuff is hurting Square Enix a lot more than they think it is. I mean, there's only a finite amount of money in the PlayStation marketplace. I mean, like most of them gamers aren't from my generation. They don't care about Final Fantasy like I care about Final Fantasy. So it really does suck. I mean, most of the Square Enix fan base is probably older like me and it's kind of moved over to PC. So continuing to put their games on the PlayStation is kind of pointless now, because their main audience is probably over on PC now after all this time. So I'd like to see Square Enix reevaluate that and start putting their games on multi-platform, just so that they can be a healthier company. I love Square Enix games. I love to play them. So I really do hope that that eventually they can figure that out. As for the rest of the stuff, dude, I don't know what's going on with that light. It's probably burning out. I'll have to get a new light, so I'm not even going to worry about it. But with the overall rest of the lineup, you got Indiana Jones for the Xbox. Indiana Jones looks incredible. I'm super excited that it is a first person experience. That means that freaking Machine Games didn't have to go out of their way to reinvent themselves. So this is gonna be good. Like, we know the combat's gonna be snappy. We know the traversal is gonna be good. We know the world design is gonna look freaking incredible. We know so much just by the path that Machine Games took for Indiana Jones that this game's going to be incredible. Is it going to rub people the wrong way because it's not third person over the shoulder? Yeah, I get that. That's what everybody was expecting. But man, we got Tomb Raider. We got Tomb Raider, bruh. Tomb Raider. If we want that. I want this experience. I want this to be first person. Like, I'm super excited about this. I cannot wait to jump into that and really like really start playing Indiana Jones. That is going to be one awesome game for the end of the year to play later this year. And then, like, if we move over, and I'm just gonna talk about this one last game that like really stood out to me on the PlayStation side. Yes, there was more, but this is the last one I want to talk about. My mouth's starting to get dry, but okay. Death Stranding 2. It looks a little bit weirder than the first one. I'm not gonna lie, but I am definitely excited for that. The new world, yeah. This looks incredible. It's not coming out till 2025, so I'm not going to sit here and like blah, 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 a whole bunch about it. But gosh, Death Stranding 2 looks incredible. I cannot wait to play that game. I love the first one, and I'm very happy to start a new journey with the characters from the first game. This is going to be awesome. Like, I cannot wait for Death Stranding 2. That game just looks incredible, so you can 100% expect the coverage from me on that game when it comes out. So, all right, my friends, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, my friends. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.